to be guessing these pronunciations on the fly, so you're going to just have to bear with me here. There's a lot of chit-chat going on in chat, but it looks like things are all nice and groovy. Godsey spotting out the play up coming up towards Banana. Only finding 2 players, but still that early information. Get a prompt to rotate from Dream. Smoke to be lined up from Vandal. Will come down towards CT. Find time for Q up. Just to get themselves set up, ready to plow out on towards that site. Taking pretty much every fight just in pure force at this point. Begin to clear things out. Should be able to find a pick on the back of site, which they will. Vandal taking down Dream as well. It's insult to injury. GD finally securing a pick back in favor of AIMCATS, but really much more. This retake begins to slow on down. They're starting to lose any sort of traction they had in the round. Just ever so slowly looking to move in. From Church, bomb to be dropped. Smoke to be dropped on the bomb, sorry. Shots will be exchanged, but ultimately it still has control on the Q upside. I mean, at this point it's a 3-1 method. Should pretty much be dead, and from there that's kind of what we can see. Got sound coming from somewhere. The question is where from. Where is that sound? Okay, I've discovered, and that's just going to get deleted. There we go. I wonder where the rampant steps are coming from, and it is unfortunately the fancy clean feed. It's just not really helping us out this time around. So we are going to have to back away from that and get rid of the camera angles and just use the unadulterated GoTV. Working their way around. Just got to be careful, of course, with these SMGs. Don't want to give away too much weaponry to AIMCATS. Early on, of course, they forced up into this one with everything. They've got all of their might. Just looking to find that one-to-one. BD actually able to finish off Zyber, and he put him down to, what, 3 HP, I think, right at the start of the round. So it's a pretty good kill for him to be able to follow up on. Vandal, meanwhile, wrapping around on towards Long, and from spotting, the Martre rotate starts to... I think we can safely say seal the round here for Q. Need a bit more damage is being done by AIMCATS, but this nade's just going to be so problematic, pushing them back to almost 25 HP apiece. From there, the angles should be held. The AK should stop them from getting close, and it should be a round locking key for the T side, and ultimately them going 2-0 up, which is a pretty good start for them in this best of one. Bomb ticking on down. Just going to be waiting it out to the bitter end. Of course, AIMCATS not going to be hunted. 2 UMPs will be carried on forward to this round number 3 for the CT side. Can't really do anything around them, though. It's just going to be the raw UMPs. I don't imagine they're going to just, you know, force up or anything crazy like that. They'll just keep the $2,000 on each player. Wait for their buy. See what they can do in this round with just the pistol mix. Rom's just almost tapping at his teammates at this point. Still, it kind of works out. Mandel just going to be looking to clear himself towards the side method. Actually up close and making it work. That's a double kill for him as he dismisses Chups as well. The P250 just side blinding them as he holds down the A site single-handedly. Godsey meanwhile securing a pick towards Long, making things a little bit tough, but overstays is welcome. You know, a trade can be found. One minute still for them to play with, but in dire straits now as they try and figure this one out. Zyber going to be going up in towards Apps and looking to see if he can finally deal with the likes of Dream. Smart though, he's gone over towards Pick, collected the SMG. Made that 1v1 just that little bit harder. Bear in mind, you know, you look at the angle that Zyber has to play. There's no way for him to really forcefully check that unless Dream peeks into him. Flash simulates style come through there, and Dream does exactly that. Pushes on forward, gives up the entire of the A site single-handedly off of that push, allows for the 2v2, and most importantly, allows for Q up to get in afterplants now as well if they want to. I mean, they've got the utility in the form of just frag grenades and Molotov, so it's a very offensive setup from this T side, but one that could still work out for them. I mean, they're holding for this push on the smoke. That's a leg being spotted now. I mean, you don't even need to use it, so just keep on spraying away. Method is going to push the site, but at that point, Zyber can trade, and their house still sways towards the Ukrainians, 3-0. This time, though, much more positive. AIMCATS got themselves an AWP and a whole bunch of rifles. I don't know what's happened to that on any of it. It's just decided, you know what, I'm just going to go flying to the left and just perch itself above the map, but hey ho, it's going to do its thing. Look forward to this, going to be chops to start things nice and strong. Again, that initial pick favouring that T side. It's that sheer entry prowess working out for the Ukrainians, more so being done as well by Rob. We do see a nice push coming from Dream, but he didn't really go for more. He only goes for one, which was almost the bare minimum of what he needed, and that just means that he'll get hunted on down, and yet again it is still Q up to trade blow for blow. In a 4v2, Godsa contemplating how he's going to play through this smoke, because wandering on through has effectively led to his death. From there, SLR surely has to save. Problem is, he'll get caught by XCon. Oh, certainly so. I mean, those steps going to be ever so loud. XCon knows what's up. Doesn't even have to respond. I mean, he runs right into him. Fall to 0. The problem here is for AIMCATS that, again, they're back on these pistols. It will likely be 5-0, and this is a really strong stint on the T side of Inferno. Especially in a best of one, you just don't want to be giving away these sort of early on leads. They have to make this next one work, really. Otherwise, things do get a little scary. Line them up, knock them down, that's the mentality. They are pretty much going to walk onto that B site. And the only real response now will be from SLR, and that is just the USB still. So remember, not exactly the weapon of the hour. It is going to actually get dispatched off through the smoke anyway, so it doesn't matter at all. It's just Goss up to the bottom of Banana. I'm going to finish him off, leading Q up to their 5th, just like we predicted. But this is the big one to watch, right? AIMCATS, they actually have some money to spend. They've got about $6,000 on every single player, so they can go for the full suite. You know, AWP, for rifles, full utility. You know, we're talking fill to the brim with Molotov, smokes, flashes, frag grenades, or you know, the 2 flashes on the likes of GD, for example. You've got everything you need. For AIMCATS, this is a round where it goes one of two ways, right? They're either going to be some pretty bad workmen who blame their tools, or they're actually going to step up and make it work and do something beautiful. That's a weird way of describing it. I'm fully aware of that, but you know what? I stand by it. Still, an early pick is going to be forged. This time, though, we do see a trade, but again, it's Vandal to make it work through the Molly, just re-aggressing through Banana, and I like the fact that he's gone quick here, just dropping the smoke in towards CT. Vandal has been spotted as he crossed to the side. Godsa looking to hunt him down, and then dips back, so at least a saving grace there for AIMCATS, but still, the B site has been taken. You've got Chops of the World lurking towards A with that bomb. Coming back around, this is just awkward for the CTs at this point. How are they to have any idea what to expect? I mean, it's fair enough they've been outplayed here. The pressure just stacking on the shoulders of Method, to be honest, to see kind of, okay, how much can you actually do with your AWP? If you pick back towards long at the right time, you might be good for a pick, but no, you're going to instantly be headshot, and from there, they actually decide to wrap towards B. I mean, Zybrid is going to be pushed. I think at that point, you may well consider just leaving. Oh, God's it was a 2v2, but he pushes CT, thinking, you know what, I should probably rotate back to A, and at that point, It all crumbles. Q up 6-0, winning just another buy. AIMCATS, this is where the going gets tough. Just Eagles now, P250s. Kevlar sprinkled on in, making at least a bit more light of the situation, but overall it's still nothing too pretty. At the end of the day, 6 rounds to play with is a lot on your T side, and they're going to find themselves a 7th here as well if things do go to plan. Method just going to be holding close with the pistol to at least try and catch a few by surprise. And actually does a pretty good job of it again. I mean, gets himself an AK for his troubles. Problem is the decision making here to push forward is just ballsy. Gives it up straight away as well, allows the follow-up volley in towards pit, the flash to come out, and that combination utility from Rom basically means, okay, he has the confidence to drop on down, he'll spot any peeks that are coming from Godser. The site is basically taken, so any sort of win condition the pistols did have has been obliterated. Meanwhile, of course, the Brain just going to be holding mid. Walk in, begins to knock them down. Godser, I think he's able to find one trade, but that should be just an AK-47 again being saved. The coffers of the CT side desperately need to be replenished, and this AK is going to definitely be part of that. Another big round though for Kazakhstan. Is it Kazakhstanian? I know they're from Kazakhstan, but does that make them Kazakhstanian? That is the question. Either way, AIMCATS, the team from Kazakhstan. There was ever 100 kilograms weighing on their shoulders right now, just starting to sink down on them. Now's probably that moment. What are we gonna feel? Burn. Totally get on the first pick as well. Not again. You've done it every round so far. Don't do it again. They get aggressive. I think that may even cause more problems here. Oh, there's a Brim with an 8 as well. Just going to be doing damage after damage. Flashes come through. Committing to a duel. Now GD given a chance to at least trade back, and so he does. He's 20 HP. Gods are playing with him though, secures the double kill, and boom, AIMCATS, they've got themselves a man advantage. Meanwhile, of course, the real play comes in towards A, but it's not baited any rotates, which means, ooh, it's good in the Kazakhstani camp. Flash smoke still going to come out from Palace. Going to land the shot with the AWP as he tries to get himself out of apps. And from there, things begin to crumble. Rom securing one, but Method, the anchor this A-site desperately needs. Landing shot after shot with the AWP, that's 2 for him. Meaning XCon has to do all the work himself. 35 seconds to work with, bear in mind. Got himself in towards CT. Looking for just the one player on B. It is going to be GDE. Now, he has 20 HP, so actually finding the kill and getting a plant wouldn't be impossible. Looking at that position as well, that should be relatively simple. I mean, he's not even looking at XCon. Oh, timing. XCon just checking left and right, but doesn't check site itself. Doesn't even just give it a glance. If he did, even just a simple look at the site, you would have seen him and would have been able to get the kill, but it is what it is. The first for AIMCATS. Let's see what they can do with that. Nice nades coming in towards the bottom of Banana, going to prompt for an early frag. Definitely the way you want to be starting this right now if you are AIMCATS. Vandal, meanwhile, just going to be playing with his teammate for that sort of return kill. Definitely looking for it. Found another 3 rounds in a row, but now they're just starting to give them up. I mean, GD will die in the flames, but Dream has just done so much work. That, again, double kill for him there is just paramount to this round. I mean, at this point, Q-Up shouldn't really be given a look in. Try and make it work anyway. Just wander out on towards the A site. Actually has a good bit of control. I mean, that smoke allows them for the plant if they want it, which is, you could argue, madness in itself, but hey ho. On the upside, we do get to see what the retakes of AIMCATS are made of, which I actually think is a pretty significant thing if we are going to have much belief in them on their CT side. I mean, it looks like they got some basic good comms going on. Not peeking one by one. As I say that, go ahead and do it. Godset actually is going to trade. Tucked into the corner. Method should be able to flick him down from there. Defuse to be found. The kit, of course, coming in ever so handy. Now Godset are running up and ensure he's picked up what he can. Seven to 2 now. The best thing about that round for AIMCATS is the fact they just don't get reset, to be honest. They don't allow Q-Up to get this huge, just rambling T-side start. Still, though, you can kind of see the anger in the Ukrainians now, and just that's prompted by the aggression they're going for towards apps and such. They realize that, okay, you know what, we're actually winning a lot of these duels when we just take them. So instead of just sitting back and letting them start to pick us apart, let them figure us out, let's just actually get aggressive and just end the game. It's kind of the idea, and it's kind of what's working for them. They will surround themselves towards underneath A, and it works out. There's 2 easy kills to them, leaves them basically none the wiser to what is going on. They start to rotate over. At that point, the bomb should already be planted. We should see a pretty strong 5v3 setup for Q-Up. I mean, there really is no way they should be able to drop this round. The AIMCATS should know that and therefore save. Just going to be clearing things out, looking to see if they can take down any of those rifles just tucked away. Flashes to be thrown to try and buy a bit of time for AIMCATS. Likely taken. Vandal going to find one. Not quite able to pull through the second. It was dangerously close to getting it, but time just not on his side. You can see the impact of even just losing one rifle, though. I mean, just look at the money of AIMCATS. They actually can't afford a whole lot. Thankfully, because they've kept the 2, they can maybe try and do something here. You could warrant going for kind of the 3 rifles, 2 SMGs, and I think that should be the play, really. I mean, looking at the fact that Method has 40-50 at the end of the day, it's not half a bad play. Of course, the concern still is that Q-Up are 8-2 right now on their T side, but that's something that's slowly but surely going to be monitored as the game develops. Just getting aggressive. Dream going to find himself one, but it's like the early days of Banana. Kill not quite good enough. Method stepped up a fair bit on towards A, but it just won't make a difference in terms of the bomb actually getting planted. Molly as well to really slow him down. Meanwhile, Chukas is just wreaking havoc from behind. Sure, looks a little lost, and Method is able to find his head thanks to that. But even then, it's a 2v2 at this point. The flashes are good. The setup is good from Q-Up. I don't imagine they'll throw this one away. Just play smart, play together, and the round is yours. There, one good flash is all it took. They peek together, they peek in tandem. And for Q-Up, it's their 9th round. Now just holding for these pistols, of course. Push working its way down towards the tip of Banana, but it is going to quickly be responded to. whole map, really. I mean, we saw a good opportunity at least found once, but it won't last for long. It's largely pushing up. It will be good to find. Nope, he's going to survive. I thought for a second that CZ might just be able to do enough damage at that sort of range, but thankfully Normality keeps itself in play. Already an early aggressive play coming from surprise, surprise. Dream meanwhile flying down mid. That's a double for him. Shop's finally going to respond, but it's too little too late. SLR has cemented the round by just finding that third kill for his team. When they're at a 4v2, they've gained no map control on the Q upside. And the only difference here as well is, unlike in previous rounds, they have no way to like kind of grab the bomb and get themselves onto A or something like that. We're already seeing the rotations come in. This should be a pretty simple round now for AIMCATS to close out. There shouldn't be any curveballs. There shouldn't be any madness. It should just be, okay, we're in a 4v2. We have the bomb. We're getting pick up the pin. Let's just keep it together and not do anything too crazy now. They're bringing all onto his shoulders. And we notice the position of both of these players kind of towards app side of things. What you won't know is the position of Method. Cyber just tapping away, but not going to survive for long. There you have it, 10-3. AIMCATS keeping the dream alive for the short term at least. Let's see the for AIMCATS. I mean, they bet themselves from 3, and that really is what we're going to be looking for. Just a few deep frag grenades, all rushing down Banana. It's a battle of timing again, right? Like, will Chup spot it? Will he turn around and be able to find it? I don't know. So seeing, of course, this close position from SLR, he might also find himself punished. It depends on how he wants to carry himself. Push comes in, waltzing there on towards A. It's a quick 2 for 2, but GD is really causing a bit of a ruckus. It'll be XCON to edge things out and, most importantly, allow for the plant. From there, things get a little bit more interesting, is then he's just going to wander through a smoke, potentially into Method. I mean, it's a good flash. Both players blind. They have no idea what's going on, but it's the pistol play that caused him to fumble, allowing XCON to push it over the line. Round that is going to be pretty bleak. I mean, just P215 max 7s and such. Definitely going to be keeping a close eye onto what the likes of AIMCATS can do though in the second half, especially Method. Method has played actually a really strong game. It's just, unfortunately, a bit of a one-man army style thing. Nonetheless, the B site has been taken, the bomb has been planted. We've seen a few kills come through, but nothing too crazy. AIMCATS still, of course, at a disadvantage. They come in lock and loaded from CT. smoke to fade, and one will be rethrown towards Banana as Dream tries to get close with the Mag 7. Rombo just pulling range, starting to work his way into his opposition. Kills start to fall in like clockwork, leaving just Zyberin. 7 HP is all he needs to do to Godzilla, and the round is won. A bomb planted for him as well. He couldn't ask for a better scenario to try and clutch that around. He's being so patient as well, just not peeking at all, not giving it away. He is just refusing the idea that Godzilla is going to fake him right now. And there you go, good halves exchange. 12-3 for Q up, of course. A very, very strong start. Looks like they're just going to be taking a second to talk things out. Interesting, of course, that is that the Q up side actually doing that, so I guess just a strategy on their CT side that they want to definitely make sure they employ, and just so they can keep it together as well. They don't allow a repeat of AIMCATS beforehand, getting like 1 or 2 rounds, starting to make things a little scary. Here we go, though. Looks like they are ready to play. Such a long road back, the Kazakhstani boys, but they got to start somewhere. Fun is the fact that QUp are just getting so aggressive so early on. Look at Zyberin, man, just running them forward, tapping them down, finds himself one. Godset is going to secure a double, but Rom, though, is just doing so much more. The insurance in the round as he applies damage to SLR. 2 HP is what he walks away on. Dream 67. Gets all the information as well that they were still committing to that second mid play. I mean, at this point, they're effectively boxed in, and GD being tapped at from the bottom of T-Spawn really kind of proves that point, is then they back up in the likes of Exo, who's under pressure and actually just fumbles, so allows them to sight. This is where things get a little bit interesting. Romlo going to lose his head, meaning, okay, now it is just Vandal. He might have a kit, but he's also 6 HP. And he'll lose his head. Dream to finish him off, pushing the round over the line. Ultimately, AIMCATS will find themselves their 4th, and a welcome chance. Prospect, just pistols. Vandal already down to 60 as well, just down to the pretty standard wallbang coming in. Deals scavenging across the map as well for those delightful headshots. AIMCATS not going to be showing any face though. Just keeping it a very reserved pace, going out to Banana. Just clearing it inch by inch, not running any risks at all here. They're effectively going to go for that happy-like moment here as he tries to land it, but sneaks in one actually. So the fact he even gets away with that is more than I expected. Not really good for much more though, as SLR will find both those kills with the UMP. And unfortunately, adding insult to injury is the fact that Dream can then just push CT and start to pick apart every little rotator as well, leaving just Vandal and XCOM. actually catching an exit frag to work with, but nothing to be screaming about. Still, though, an unfortunate situation for the CTs. Just pistols in plate. No real weaponry for them just yet. Gonna have to just bite the bit here and see if they can, again, sneak in a few kills against AIMCATS. Stop them from doing too much, but this should likely be their 6th round, and it really has been a great way back in for them. And I'm just hearing exactly what's going on mid. We'll actually have quite a lot of just future rounds. Sort of enveloped into every angle though. Will be Zybrin and Co. Starting to be dispatched of though will be the entirety of the CT side. XCON, the only player yet to be kicked off at. The AIMCATS will find themselves their 6th round in this game. Just halfway there, of course. 6 rounds now being the difference, and ironic considering what AIMCATS have been able to achieve so far as well. Of course, their real big test here is going to be just handling Q up and with 5 rifles in play. It's not something they've been able to do consistently yet. I haven't really been given a chance to, in fairness, but that's what these rounds are here for. Spotting, hoping for a few pushes, but just given nothing. The CT side playing a very withdrawn game of Counter-Strike. Need a real kind of audacious play is this angle actually being pulled out by Zybrin, and everyone else is pretty standard. It's a nice little nade actually, putting Gotta down to 64 HP. A lot of noise being made. These Vandal just start to spray away, walking away unscathed as well is a big win for him. The fact he's got his life intact means that he can just go rotate, support his teammate on that A site if they do come wandering through short. Vandal just waiting to see if they are going to push on in, but they are giving them absolutely nothing. It's a very slow AIMCATS side. We'll have to go though. At some point there will have to be a biting button. Effectively something that prompts them just to let rip. Not really walk out one by one, because that gives away pick after pick. I mean, sure, SLR does drop on down. GD with the pick on Vandal buys them a bit of time, but that's a ballsy play. Looks like it will still be a save though from Q. I mean, they did lose their last player on site. They didn't want to risk retaking. Their economy, of course, also in a pretty bad state right now. Just going to be allowing AIMCATS to move up to 7. Keeping it much, much closer now. Of course, that is just 5 rounds then. From that initial 12 to 12 score. And from there, of course, not far off from closing it out as well. Still no real aggression coming in from Q Up, just waiting for the move from AIMCATS. Looks like we are going to start to see them put a little bit of poke towards the bottom of Banana though, which could be interesting to see taken. Things ticking down though, 50 seconds left for AIMCATS to play with, and they may as well just go for a B execute at this point. Really all that's left for them to do, which is gonna be the play, just smoke CT, smoke off towards Church as well. Molly's on the back of sight. I'm gonna try and shut things down. Good for one and good for two. Unlikely given a chance for a third though. This is where they should really double peek him, stop him from swinging. If they are blind, the other should certainly not be. And also, he's just so low from all this tag damage that the Molly, if done right, will force him to swing, and from there it is just simple execution. SLR just saving another round for them. I mean, brings it back full circle, 2v2. Looks like SLR may well be faced up by Zybrin though, which they couldn't quite handle that time around. Leaving it all down to one. UMP, already a pretty tough weapon. When you throw a Molly into the mix as well, makes it less than ideal. Fair play to Godza though for just doing the darts around the back of this pillar, making life so hard for Zybrin. I mean, time right now is just being spent by him just doing the darts. That is absolutely perfect. Godza is going to find the pick in the end anyway, but I mean, the amount of time that was spent buying just the round for AIMCATS, let alone the kill, was so noticeable, and really a nice play. A beautiful play, in fact, I'd go as far to say. feel like I've been muted for a little bit. I'm not quite sure. That's a little bit. I just realized, I checked the mixer, was like, there's no green bar there. That is not what we need. So, one of those things. I was explaining the fact that... Wait, let me even check. Alright, we're good, we're good. Okay, so we were talking a little bit about the fact that Q-Up, they got to 13. It was based on... I don't even know how much you heard now. We turned it off, tick off, and then we just didn't turn it on, did we? Oh no. That has gone wrong. So what we were talking about was the fact that the first good round from Q-Up was based on pistols, right? That's really kind of where they got their start from in this second half. AIMCATS have been consistently able to get onto these sites and hold down these retake attempts as well. For Q-Up here, it was also the fact that they had 2 pistols and 3 rifles, which was just an interesting decision to go for. I actually thought they would maybe like half buy at tops and then just go for a full buy in round 24. But instead, they completely invested into this one. I don't think a single player didn't spend up. Okay, so Rom spent saved like 800 bucks, which it is irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. It will be an eco now in round 24, right? Which realistically means that we're going to go 13 to 11. And we're just going to call a pause. I think he realizes, okay, there's a bit of an issue. Looks like the pause has been removed and we are ready to get ourselves back into this one. Still just a very tough situation for this Ukrainian team, throwing round after round in this second half. It's just been a T-side game, really, across the board. Just walking into the AKs as well, just making life kind of a lot tough. I mean, it was a good showing by Zabrin for just a second there, a flash of life, but nothing really too spectacular. High flash comes out as well, leaving a just further disheartened CT side. I mean, I save here, right? I send the 2 pistols in, or have them on exit kills, or really anything. It doesn't really matter what the pistols do. The important thing is, what does Zabrin do? He's got an AK, and he pushes in like a hero in a 1v3. You could have saved it, buddy. You could have saved it. It is what it is. It doesn't quite matter. What does matter is it's 13 to 11. AIMCATS have control of this game, it feels like, with just 2 rounds left before things go equal. I'd be worried right now if you're the CTs. If you're Q-Up, I'd definitely be panicking. Dream taking down X-Gun, opening up for a second as well. That is just disaster completely. Zabrin desperately trying to trade things back and does a pretty good job of it, bear in mind. Actually secures both the kills that he needs, but SLR unfortunately will be able to take him down eventually by just catching him off guard. He didn't expect that sort of delayed peek from that third player. From there, the ace, of course, completely wide open. You've got this good position from GD as well, meaning that if Rom does peek into him, that is just going to be just a quick tap to him, right? And that's a kill, and it's not something you can really counteract. It's just unfortunate, right? It's all stemmed from the initial 2 kills that were found. The A site setup was completely destroyed, and from there they just took so much map control. You can't really judge Q up too much for that. Problem is, it was on a full life for them, so now they're back on the pistols yet again, meaning AIMCATS should be able to go 13-13, and from there this best of 1 win is very much on the table. Rifles, but nothing is going to come of it. They are just going to be walking through flames, walking through nades, and most importantly, into the firepower of an AK. They're actually doing a pretty good job, though. I mean, okay, he's found himself 2 kills. Still, it will be dreamed to hold down the bomb. Rom picking up an AK. Deciding, you know what, screw this, I'm going to back away, and I actually kind of like that from him. To Bryn maybe giving the jump with the P250, and will actually make it work. That's a headshot. Followed up by a second as well, meaning that's an instant kill with the P250. Beautifully done, just playing the angle. And that leads us to here. 2v2. Effectively a 1v2 depending on how this goes. But I mean, a 1v1 you could even argue as well when you just look at the map right now. Every player split up doing their own little thing. At their own little corner of the map. That's up, taking down Rom though. He's at this point, Dream will just speed things up a little bit, get himself onto the site, and from there, again, I wouldn't be surprised if Zibrin saves, right? He's got effectively nothing really to add into the round. He's got no kit, so it's definitely concerning. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he looked for a kill, but I don't think he'll be committing too hard. Scrap that though. He's just going to go in hard. Go big or go home, right? That's the rule. Walks on into the site, makes a whole lot of noise. Still spotting absolutely no one. I think he realizes at this point, okay, you know what? Never mind. I've made a bad decision here. And that's when he starts to walk on away. Here's the bomb as well, I imagine. It goes, you know what? I don't have a kit. That's not going to get defused, is it? And I think that really is kind of that selling point. That is a nasty spray transfer. That's one way to deny them any sort of economic growth through. They are winning rounds back to back, so it's not a huge factor. They got 13,000, 15,000 in the bank, but still, it was some nice shots. Waiting ever so patiently to see what will come of the likes of Vandal, Orping, and just in general this whole setup by AIMCATS. Comparison to queue up. See a bit of aggression come down towards Banana as well, which may well find the bomb carrier, which could be a little awkward. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Starting to be made in towards apps, but nothing to be screaming about just yet. Up until Method finds that pick. At that point, okay, now you get yourself a problem. You've just lost your AWPer. That's your 4th player on A, or effectively your rotator, out of the server. There, comes in towards shores of Britain, next on the shopping block, and things start to really fall away on the A site. They got a player in pit, player up towards Balg. Chupa's the next one, kind of making it work, and I think with that pick from Method, that bomb's not going to go A. It's actually just going to run back and just hit B. I mean, you've got such a good selection of the map at this point. Why not? And if this works out, I really like this from AIMCATS as well. Just adapting to what is being thrown at them just all the time. The smoke towards CT again, allowing it across, meaning that he doesn't want to risk any of that stupid stuff. Just to play his own little game in a sensible way, stop them having opportunities, because the less opportunities they have, the more chance AIMCATS of closing out this map. Method missing his shot, but given the repeat, and that's one he'll land. And there it is, just XCon, and I think he's already starting to go, okay, you know what, is this really beneficial? I don't think that. Spotting Method out. I mean, that's a chance to get your first kill, but just only tags him, doesn't actually get the kill. The nade as well going to force him down to 18 HP, but he's still got an 8 OP between his arms. He's still got feet moving. So at the end of the day, he's still a happy man. I'm probably laughing is the fact he's just got away with that. Slow and steady, though, is going to win the race. That's always been the tactic of this game, and something that we've brought up ever so many times. We're all going to peek out, find ourselves one. Pushing through a smoke, finding a second, but Method will secure the return kill. And the bomb is going to be shuffled around somewhat. Choops making a decision on what he wants to do. Does he want to go flying through or not? I mean, it's a big ask. Only a ballsy play. Dream, meanwhile, gets himself up on top of the boxes, fighting into CT as the mollies. Was a bit of an issue. Well, going straight for the plant right under the nose of Chips and gets away with it. That's huge. That is absolutely huge because now they can get an after plant. So they don't have to worry about that specific feature of getting the bomb down and having to cross the site and such. Still, though, they're swinging nice and wide. They're giving up plenty of opportunities to the CT side. Smoke to go down towards the bomb as well. Just looking to see how long they can survive. SLR finding one, but not anything too fanciful, as it will go 14 to 14. Flashes come through. Dream just going to waltz on up, finds himself a very nasty headshot on towards Sabrin, but not long before as well, they can start to actually converge through short. Generally given an angle of attack now on towards A. Vandal respond to that by just getting into position with the York to lock them down if they do come through. The beauty of this, though, is the minute they baited all the rotates, they suddenly all withdraw, completely just out of the map, and may well head over on towards B. I mean, if they are going to do that, it's kind of really now or never, because it's going to come a point where you realize, okay, actually, we're just being duped here right now. We're being completely played, and they'll start to rotate back, and we already start to see kind of ROM foreshadowing that. Early flashes come through, though. Chip's just going to be holding that smoke towards B. Scott peeking out, finding not only one, but trying to spray down for a second. Just drop the bomb. Dream catching Chips by surprise and finding Ron through the smoke as well. Godsa taking down X-Scott, and suddenly it's just Vandal all alone trying to hold that bomb. 30 seconds left, whips up another AWP. I think he was going for an AK, but Scope seemed to be his life at this point. And gets spotted out by Godsa. 15 to 14. AIMCATS, a team that can take the win or allow Q up to force OT. Problem is, they've only got pistols. It's a bit wish-washy. We'll have to see what they can do. Nothing really changing up about the CT strategy either here. It's just 3 players towards A, 2 towards B. Likely to see a rotation coming from B soon as well. Vandal going to move himself over on towards A. AIMCATS still moving their way up. Keeping it very calm and cautious as they do approach long. No one really there for them to greet them. It is going to come down to just that site wrap, and if it does, I imagine that's actually going to be quite painful for them, to be honest, just dealing with it in that sort of way. Already taking down next one as well. Vandal does get aggressive with the CZ to spot out Method, but at this point the Rap's already sort of kicked into high gear. Molly towards Pit, push comes in, SLR going to be supported by his teammates as he clears out sight, taking down the likes of Zabrin. Method picking off Rom, and this should be it. I think at this point, Chirp should have knows as well that is the case. Just going to be him in a 1v3, of course. Trying to see if he can deny AIMCATS the win. I mean, 16-14 is an incredible effort by QP, but AIMCATS just brought it on the T side, and they're going to be definitely happy with that result. 16-14, of course, his first best of 1, and an instant disconnect for us. Not quite what we were hoping for, but it is what it is. That, of course, is the Bets Championship kicking off. Of course, every team looking to get themselves a spot in the Bets.net Masters with over $100,000 on the line. It all starts, of course, at the Challenger Series group stages. 8 invited sides, of course, competing across 2 sub-regions, so they face off in a bit of a... well, not quite 8 invited sides, sorry. It's this format is always crazy. Let's get this right. Qualifying process is the Swiss stage Challenger Series draft, which is 32 teams split into 2 sub-regions, the Europe and the CIS side of things. This, I believe, is the CIS side of things, naturally, due to it being a Ukrainian and a Kazakhstani team. But there's our first game. We are going to be coming back to you after a very short break with another game relatively soon.